The CPI just dropped. The consumer price index just dropped approximately about 2.5 hours ago. And then we've been seeing the reaction on the chart. If you are not aware of the CPI, it's a very key data to the US. And of course, it tends to be volatile, bringing in whipsaws, bringing in spread increments, slippage from time to time, and a whole lot of other things based on the nature of the news, based on the volatility of the news. It's a pleasure having you guys here. Tolu here of CSA Forex. And we're going to be talking about the dollar and, of course, what is happening to the major currency pairs right now. So this is the news that we just mentioned now, and you can see for the dollar, we have three news for the CPI, as you can see here. And of course, they were all red at the end of the day. And as we always say, for you to easily interpret the news is based on the color of the actual, right? The color of the actual being, if it is red, it is a sell. If it is black, it is neutral. And if it is green, it is a buy. But we don't have any green here for this week so far. But this is the calendar for the week, July 9th to July 15th. So all of these ones are sell, sell, and sell. So that means that clearly, without a doubt, they're expecting the USD to do what? To drop. And of course, remember we said CPI is a very key data to the US. And if you look at the charts, if we cross over to the charts now, don't forget we always say it's good to combine the fundamentals and the technicals together. You cross over to the charts now, and then what do we have here? You look clearly, this is the DXY in front of us, the dollar index, right, USD, and you can see this is the vertical move, right, from the CPI. And one thing I would always advise, do not mess with a V-shaped move. It shows strength, and in this case, it's showing strength of the sellers. So I will not advise anybody to aggressively go against this market. But even notwithstanding, you can see that this dollar has been dropping, right, from last week, Friday, when we had the NFP. We talked about this in a previous video, where we had the NFP that said the drop and then continued. Now, if you are a trend trader, you want to trade with the trend, the best thing for you to do is to wait for price to come back to this area here of resistance, resistance, or resistance here, right? And of course, the higher the price moves based on the level, the more profits we can make when we get our trigger, and then it gives us, a good trade in order for us to manage accordingly. Well, as the market is dropping this way, right, don't worry, trust me, there are going to be pullbacks. But when you pullback get to this point here, or get to this point here, or go to this point here, that has acted as resistance and support in the past, who knows? Only time will tell. And that's why also as a trend trader, you could also introduce the Fibonacci as a form of confluence. Click on it, come to this point, and then drag it from the highs over here all the way to the lows. And then you see the levels that some traders are waiting for. Some traders are waiting for maybe like 38.2, which confluences with this, or you're waiting for the 50 area, the confluences with this, or maybe even the 61.8. Who knows? Only time will tell. But a quick advice, if you want to go long, meaning that you want to buy this dollar, right, then make sure you have your divergence. You could have your overbought. Of course, this is oversold, sorry. You could have your oversold region and so on, which is clearly right in front of us. Or you can also use RSI or MACD or any of those oscillators to give you the further information. So this dollar that we have right in front of us, if you look at the remaining instruments like the majors, right, and even gold, you notice that for Euro USD, as an example, Euro USD should be going up because the dollar is going down, right? Always know how to pair your currencies together, right? So this is the Euro USD, as you can see, is appreciating, pushing higher, vertical move, just like the dollar index, and this is pounds USD, the cable also going up, clearly an uptrend, and then you can see some little confluence here, you can see some little reaction here based on the trend line, based on the way price has moved, and you can see what we have over here. So that means that probably based on the dollar that is, especially based on the dollar, because the dollar is the major driving force. So we have this over here. Let's see how this plays out. If we come back to test this area here of former resistance, if we test here, or it does further down up to this point here, or whatever the case might be. And then looking at this as well, some of them will show more aggression based on the trend. As an example, if you look at the dollar Swede, you can see the aggression based on the down move. So if you want to go with the trend, I repeat, if you want to go with the trend, you have to patiently wait for a pullback to these key areas of resistance. Patiently wait for a pullback to these key areas of what? Of resistance, right? That's one. And if you are a counter trend trader, you're going against the trend, then you can start looking for entries over here. Some traders tend to use the form of fading or martingale. They tend to be dangerous, but once you know how to fade based on when you put in your next position, which is of course based on the initial loss, if you understand martingale or fading, you are adding to your losing positions. So the timing of your entry for the first one and then the second one and then the next one is very, very key. Because truth be told, this USD Sweezy CHF has been stretched just like a rubber band, and it needs to be a snapback. It could be a snapback to this little area here, or this one here, or any of these ones that we have over here. It should be a snapback, right? And that tends to happen in the market. And even if it doesn't snap back immediately, it might just go in on a diagonal way, showing that the market is resting. As it's resting, you could have your wedge, and then you have a breakout, and then have this kind of pullback effect, right? I have seen this way too many times, but then when you are trading as a counter trend trader, make sure that you have your stop loss in place, make sure that your risk management is good to go, and of course, how you manage your trades is very, very important. As a matter of fact, how you manage your trades, whether you are a trend trader or a counter trend trader, is very, very key. It would differentiate you from those that know how to trade and those that are just gambling, right? Trade management is very, very important. So we have a lot of instruments that are reacting now that are trending. Even the dollar yen too also seems to be very much similar to the dollar Swedish that we have over here. We have a lot of instruments that are trending nicely now thanks to the dollar. And then all we have to do is simply exercise patience, whether you want to trade with the trend or trade against the trend. And when you look at the gold as well, you can see the gold also is to the upside. And thanks to the dollar, thanks to the CPI, the Consumer Price Index news that came out not too long ago. Whatever you are trading, make sure you understand yourself as a trader, trend trader, counter trend trader, whether you are scalping, intraday swing or position trader, and then know your entry, your exit. Basically have a solid trading plan that you would use to enter the market and execute trades. So I'm going to be rounding up now. Make sure you trade safely. If you have any questions, feel free to ask questions. If you're new to the channel, do the needful, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and then join me as we drop videos on a regular basis. Okay, and if there's any instruments or any question you have, we could easily do a video on that to help you out. So thank you guys, has indeed been a good one. Do enjoy the rest of the day, and goodbye for now. Cheers.